Okay, we are running through some ranked here. We're doing the double speed gameplay here. I'm switching back to that. It was kind of more fun to work with. So this hand is interesting, but I do keep it because it has all 5 of our required colours. We immediately get turn 1 Forties, as is standard in the Pioneer metagame currently. So one reason you'll see in the video cap here is we are showing this to show off the power of Edgar and why I love this guy. Right, immediately comes down the waste knot, so we'll get rid of that. You've got to answer waste knot as fast as possible. It's becoming more popular in the meta, and one of the big things here with oh, that's me misplaying the world's the world's worm. One thing you got to realize is if you can take out their waste knots, they really don't have a lot of endgame. They do have the Shieldrids, which will come into play later, but what you got to remember here is without their meta things here, there's not too much craziness. So they uptick a Lily on 3. We'll get rid of the World Spire because we've not got it here. We'll throw down a Niv, which will reload our hand. We now have a full sway of answers. Even if they have removal here, we can kill the Liliana and we can get back the opponent plays the Hostile Negotiator, so we'll get rid of 1 Lightning Helix. They downtick to force us to sack the Niv. So what we'll do here, Molten Collapse, we're going to kill Lily. Then we can Vanishing Verse the Hostile Negotiator and hold back. Opponent plays another Hostile Negotiator. Sadly, got to get rid of Crown Sessions. We'll play our land here. And I'm going to pass. I'm going to hold up. I was checking that the Hostile Negotiator doesn't have the attack trigger. So with this in mind, first things first, we're going to Cosmic Rebirth, buy back Amalia. Amalia reveals a Niv-Mizzet on the top of our deck, which is perfect, so we will Lightning Bolt Hostile Negotiator to negate their triggers, get Amalia up to 4/4. Our opponent's final card is a Liliana, and they choose to make us sack Amalia. So we just get to throw down Niv-Mizzet here. Lily can't sack, they've got 1 draw, and we get a full set of new cards, which puts them in a very bad position here. They start sacking clues. That Hostile Negotiator is really good for Waste Not. It's one of the main reasons why Waste Not has become a lot more prominent here. Sideboarding, I decided to bring in No More Lies, and I take out the Lilith. What I'm basically thinking around here is, one of the things you'll notice with the Waste Not deck is they're running a lot of Shieldred's Edicts and other effects that will force you to sack. This is an immediate response to the Vein Ripper. Rakdos Vampires deck. They ultimately need more edicts to answer that cleanly and efficiently. And I'm going to just say this right now before we proceed any further here. This game here was pure ridiculousness, and one of the reasons why I love Edgar Markov. Waste Not comes down, we don't have an answer to it, so that's pretty bad for us. So this is the conundrum we're in now. Well, depending on what they do here, they go for a Duress. So the only thing they can take is, they take Cornucopia again. So with that in mind, we will just pass back. What we can do is Cosmic Rebirth the Cornucopia back to our hand here. Then we can choose to discard. So we'll discard 1 land, 2 lands. They will get 4 mana here, which is kind of bad, but we just got to hope they don't have a lot of other stuff to go with. I choose to get rid of... basically, I decide whether or not it's worth the hold. I go with the Niv here because my plan is I can throw down an Edgar here, and we can start the game. So, they throw down Liliana. They minus to force us to sack, but Edgar just immediately flips. We get hit. Now we start drawing lands. So we'll put Gigantha in the hand to buy back our hand size. We also got to keep lands in hand because you got to remember, Dire-Reach Sanitarium could be forcing us to discard good cards here. So they don't have a lot in the way of mana right now. So what we're trying to do here is, they have enough mana. We got to keep their card draw mechanics down. Right, so I'm going to choose to get rid of the land here. They sack another clue to draw a card. They swing in. I choose to take it. We get another card here. So what we get to do is Now, I am going to attack Liliana, which will buy us back a land. Then I'm going to kill the hostile negotiator, gain life, cram sessions, and I choose controversially here. I choose pest summoning when in reality I should have gone with containment breach, because that would answer the other thing. So I throw away Gigantha here because I want to stop him drawing cards. But there's actually a really funny point here where I get to switch things around, because I suddenly look at things and realize, wait a minute, they've drawn most of their deck. Right, Edgar flips, we get to play our pest control, we now have a huge board. I'm going to attack with everything on Liliana here. My guess is they will keep Karavek around because he's really good in this deck. They lose Liliana, but I didn't realize Karavek could cast any permanent from the graveyard. So they play Niv-Mizzet. We draw a Lightning Helix, so we're going to swing in here, see how they block. So I have a choice here on what I want to kill. So the first thing I'm going to do is take down this Niv-Mizzet. Our Edgar will flip immediately back. We are on 34 life, you'll notice. That's how insane this is right now. And again, they are just really struggling, even though Invoke Despairs. So they go for their graveyard. Can't cast a Lily, they don't have enough black. So we lose, they draw some cards. They Gaia Reach, we throw away No More Lies. They keep drawing. Put us down to 26. We start making blockers again. We're going to hold up the land here. Again, that's just because of Gaia Reach Sanitarium. And they are going to Karavek back and Invoke Despair. So we got double Invoke Despair this game. And we are still above our starting life total. That's how insane this deck can be for gaining life sometimes. So we go down to 17. We get a Cosmic Rebirth. So I looked for our graveyard here. We do have a Niv, which we might be able to get back. So I'm going to play the land and pass back. So if we get Fort Seized here, so let's see what they do. They draw, and they have a Cram Sessions. We'll discard that, force them to draw 2 cards. Let's see what they do on their turn. Liliana the Veil. Quite problematic, but they force us to sacrifice, which is interesting. And then they go to combat, which is again pretty strange. So what we're going to do is we're going to use Cosmic Rebirth, gain 5 life here, so we gain 2 off the cornucopia, 3 off there. Flip our Edgar back, gain 5 life from the cornucopia. Starting to see how ridiculous this deck is. Draw 2 cards. We get to attack in here. I'm going to take down their Lily again. If they want to try and kill Edgar, that's fine. I ultimately choose to sack the Niv here. I want their Lily gone. I'm going to kill their Karavek so they can't cast any more crimes. We're in a pretty okay position here. Even though our opponent has way more resources than us, we can still hold pretty well. We sack Edgar. That's not a good thing. They drop another land. They go for a go blank here, so we'll throw away 2 cards, get our graveyards exiled. They draw 4 cards, which is not good, but they're down to 20 cards right now. And they're realizing that they don't actually have, like, black really struggles to actually kill Edgar Markov. Fortunately, they had a discard, so our Niv-Mizzet goes away, which is pretty bad for us. Flip Edgar. Pass the turn, we'll hold up this Lightning Helix. So we'll just Helix down Liliana here, gain more life. Again, they just keep discarding on their side. They could be pushing way more aggression here, but for some reason they're not, which is weird. So they play an Ashiok to start milling us. Go to combat, we'll attack Ashiok. Then we'll Lightning Helix the Ashiok to kill it, gain more life. They mill 4 cards, mill one of their waste knots, and get back Karavek. Karavek is so good. Once I played this game and realized that he can cast permanent cards, it's so stupid. They swing in here. I choose to take 6. They replay in a second Ashiok. Commit a crime, forcing us to get another. Yep, lose more cards. Edgar's going to flip on our turn. They plus to discard. They discard another waste knot. We find a Niv, which is great, so we'll cast Niv-Mizzet here. Gain 5 life. Undo all the work they did with their zombies. Find a good slew of cards here. So, go to combat. Attack in. I'm going to choose to kill Ashiok here. Ashiok dies. I can Lightning Helix, which I will, and I'm going to kill Karavek. I'll discard the command that they know about. They can draw 2 cards. So we're still on 30 life here, and our opponent is down to like 10 cards in their deck. But now they find the Shieldred, which is bad for us. So we've got to keep the Vanishing Verse. But they do have the Liliana uptick. They're down to 9 cards in hand. Said here, this is going to be fairly problematic. We could win by decking them is the best chance we've got here. Sack Edgar again. Our boy's just doing work here. We find an Amalia. So what I do is I play the Amalia, gain life to go back up to 30. I swing in on a full swing out on Liliana. Now here's the thing, they take the trade, but this is great for us because now we have 2 explore triggers. Finds us a land, finds us a land. We'll play one of the lands and we'll pass back. So we're still on 32 life here and we're holding pretty well. I'm going to get rid of the land here. Let them add a ton of mana. Hostile Negotiator throws away our Kellen. Now they're going all out here, swinging in. See, this was the true issue here. We were so close to staying alive. We just needed a few more good draws. Amalia explores. We find Ojutai's command. There's nothing in our graveyard though, so I probably should have got rid of that. So then we will pass back, hold up our mana. So we are super close here to being alright. So, they have another Karavek, which I should have counted at that point. They go for the duress here. In hindsight, yeah, I should have counted that, and I probably could have won from here. But I was also thinking maybe I could hold up and force them to force me to discard and draw more of their cards. So we'll sack Amalia here. Then we will gain 4 life and return it to the battlefield. Force us to explore, find the crime sessions. They go for the Fort Seas to commit a crime to cast another Shieldred's Edict. Thing is, we almost outlast them here. We just needed to survive a few more attacks. But again, it's just how insane Karavek is. Yep, and now we ultimately just die because we block Shieldred here, go down to 2, and then draw to death. Which is a real shame because we literally could have had it. Very frustrating match there, but as I said, we made some bad plays. Really, Waste Knot's not really a hard matchup for us. You just got to take out Waste Knot and the deck doesn't do anything. It really preys on trying to outlast, but we want to get to late game. And as you see in the first match, there are games where you can just do nothing and get it away. Fortunately, I have to keep a dodgy 7 here, and one of the main reasons you have to keep a dodgy 7 is this. You will get ripped apart by hand disruption, so mulliganing if you have lands is just a bad thing. So we play another Triumph here. Opponent plays another land, so we'll play another Triumph and we'll hold up the No More Lies. So on 3 they go for Ashiok, we will counter it and exile it. Play a land, put Gigantha into hand, so we're going to go for an aggro play here. Our opponent on 4 goes for a go blank, we'll get rid of these 2 spells. And we draw Edgar again, so our boy Edgar is going to do some work for us. They go for go blank, so we lose everything. Swing for Edgar, pass it back. Our opponent goes for Footsies, so we'll dome them for free, they'll lose 2, and they get nothing from it. They go for the animated the Ive Tyrant here, and this is like how the Waste Not Debt fails when they don't have anything in hand. As you can see, literally we just got to resolve one thing, and we've pretty much answered it here. So we use Cram Sessions, we'll grab Containment Breach, and we'll Containment Breach the Waste Not. Now their deck is literally hand disruption with no payoff, and they're dead on the next attack. They play a Negotiator, which gets them through. We'd be pretty good, but we draw removal to get through. And kind of the reverse of the first game, but yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, even in that game where we were being valued out and destroyed, Edgar came through. And that's one of the main reasons, particularly with removal being so heavily black-based currently, there's very little exile effects for him. So we'll move on to our second match here. Then you'll notice our boy Edgar's in our hand again. Opponent opens with Demolition Field. So it's another Waste Not deck. Yeah, Waste Not has kind of become insanely huge right now. So we go down to 4 mana and we'll just drop an Edgar. So they aren't discarding us, which means the hand is full of, like you see here, removal spells. So they drop it, get their 3rd land here. So what we get to do here is, and you got to be careful because once again the auto tapper was trying to screw us over. So we'll play Ancient Cornucopia, and then we'll pass back, see what they do on their turn. With 4 mana they go for a Shieldred, so unfortunately we have to answer that. That's why we don't immediately take out the Waste Not. That's the scariest thing they could really drop here. But once again we have Cram Sessions, so we will Cram Sessions into Containment Breach, take out a Waste Not, and swing in for 1. Once again, Edgar just turning out the value. Opponent plays Hostile Negotiator, we'll drop the Kellen. We Molten Collapse and take it out, and our opponent concedes. They had a rough start there, but like I said, this is how ultimately, same sideboarding again. You gotta remember they're gonna run huge edicts. I'm gonna go down on the combo because the odds of us resolving this combo with a deck built purely around hand disruption and removal is very low. We just gotta outlast them like we did in the previous games. Once again, our boys here, and this is why Edgar's in the thumbnail, because I absolutely love this guy. And I really think he should be kept way higher than people give him credit for. So I play a thing here, and now with the Cosmic Rebirth, this is perfect. So our opponent upticks Lily, so we'll just ping her down. We can get rid of her land here, so I'm going to get rid of the mountain because we already have a ton of stuff. And I'm shocking this land in because if our opponent uses Thoughtseize effects to try and take rid of Edgar, what we can do is Cosmic him back to our hand. So there's a very few scenarios here where our opponent's just going to destroy us. In hindsight, I'm going to use Helix to take out Lily. In reality, I probably could have bought a land back. So now we get to see what their final thing is here. They are Field of Ruining. They're trying to prevent us from casting the Edgar here, but this is why we run one of every basic, just in case. So we resolve Edgar, and now the race is on. They use Hostile Negotiator, drops the land for us. We get a Kellen here, so we'll just throw him on the field and swing in. Kellen's also got Vigilance, which is something I forgot about for a while. They top deck a Shieldred, which is really bad for us. So I'm going to play this land in tapped. I'm going to attack with Kellen and take out their card before they draw anything else from it. They know now that Edgar flipping over would be bad for them. They've also just realized Kellen has a solution to that. So with this in mind, I'm going to get Pest Summoning. There's more stuff to block with, and we can swing in with Kellen again. This is fantastic. We'll play an Amalia. Now we're swinging in with all of our stuff. So we want to trigger the pests to try and find something, because also the wording on Explore is you put the card into your hand. We don't need another Kellen, so he can go away. We draw a land, put that into play tapped, pass back. Our opponent seems to be very hesitant because we could trade with the Shieldred favorably. So this is great for us. So let's attack in. They're going to force us to sack with the Shieldred's Edict. So I'm considering what to do here, but ultimately I know what I have to do. I got to get Edgar flipped and start summoning some other cards. So Kellen will just go in. We will not sacrifice Edgar's coffin to this. Yeah, I think I have to buy some premium vampire tokens for this deck now. So with that in mind, we'll just bounce a Shieldred here, because this forces them to commit fully to their turn and do nothing else. We start making lifelink blockers, so let's get in again with Kellen. Opponent is down to 7. We are a little bit of mana away, but we're ultimately just drawing until we find something to answer Shieldred. We've got to sack a non-thing, so we'll sack Amalia. We've got to keep Kellen because he's the only creature we got right now providing any kind of pressure. We'll do it again. Kellen will flip to 6. They go over Field of Ruin here. I guess basic checking us. I thought this was a fatal push, but they did no such action. Ultimately, they pass back. Edgar flips. So we get to Cram Session here. Gain 4 life, so we've lost nothing. We'll use the basic Conjuration here to see what we can find. We find a Clophis. We'll put a Gigantha into hand, and we'll swing out. So they block like that. They go down to 3. Edgar flips back. We're still on 27. Opponent concedes to us. Good game. And they concede. So, again, just the power of Edgar here. Oh my. And yeah, this is the showcase of why you should run Edgar. I mean, yeah, it's not as powerful as Omnath. It doesn't draw you a card. But in the current meta where everyone has solid answers for creatures because there's a prominent creature combo deck, having a thing like Edgar is so important. Right, we lose Amalia, and then we draw the mana to cast her, which is a shame. So we'll just shock in, hold up a Lightning Helix. This is a green-red, so it's either Rock or Jund. They throw down a Shock-Eyed Rookie, new edition I wasn't familiar with. So we'll Lightning Helix. Pass back, hold up the Tyrant Scorn. They play a Sharp-Eyed Rookie again, so we'll kill that one too. We get double Niv-Mizzet Reborn, which is pretty crazy. Let's see what they go for. Shieldred on 5. So we will drop a Niv-Mizzet Reborn, see what we find. We find a slew of answers and cards to cast. We're going to get rid of the World Spire. Now our opponent knows it's a war of attrition here, which is very strange to me as to why they go for this. So they draw with the Dreadmore Knight. They know we have an answer to Shieldred, so they offer the trade. We take it, but that now means that our exile removal is now free to answer the Dreadmore Knight. And with Lelia on the field, we bank that for another turn. So our opponent really needs to kill her like right now. And they don't, so we will Molten Collapse, put another removal spell in the bank for later. Cram Sessions, throw another spell in the bank for later, grab our only multicolored learn spell. I should look into changing that. They're down to 2 cards, so they play Archfiend of the Dross, Bitter Triumph. We come back to our turn, yeah, we will Vanishing Verse that, throw down another Niv-Mizzet. We have an absolutely banger hand now, so we'll pass back. Holding up. Oh, no Vanishing Verse. Interesting. Gitrog swings in, we'll trade. Again. I check we don't have the required thing, so we will Cosmic Rebirth here, grab back the Lelia, and then we will cast Pest Summoning to make some cards and pass back. I choose to hold back here because I think our opponent's going to realize that they need to do something, and they concede to that because we just out-attrition them. I admire their gusto with the attack, however I really feel that they went really too hard on it. They should have held back with the Shieldred and the Gitrog and forced us to trade removal for them. Okay, no land hand, but we do have our Edgar, so we'll get rid of, go here. I consider what to do here, and I ultimately get rid of the Niv-Mizzet because yes, I would fear that the turn 1 40s was coming. On their turn, they take away the Cornucopia. Choose to use Crown Sessions, fix our mana here with an Environmental Studies, in case we don't draw red mana. They play a Glisser. Fortunately, we really do have to answer that, so we'll just hold back for now. They drop a Shieldred, so we will kill Glisser here. Draw a card. Ironically, we still need a answer to this. So, a bit of a rough one here, considering they drop all their 4-drop stuff that's really hard to deal with. They do draw their Restless Cottage. So I'm just going to dome them here. Clophis is an okay answer to some stuff. So just pass back. We just got to hope for some solid removal here. They play an Archfiend of Dross. Yeah, we can see it here. They curved out way too good. And we'll just run it back. Yeah. That was kind of their dream. Like, they had Fortsies into Glisser, into Shieldred, into Archfiend. It's like just a bad matchup, basically. They had 4+ toughness creatures, and we were stuck with our Helixes. But I refuse to believe that Helixes are a problem. And then our opponent, I am going to assume that our opponent is doing the Goldfish Shuffle, I call it, where they're randomly searching through MTG Goldfish or other sites to try and find what deck you're playing to help them with sideboarding. Which is why it's always fun to play fringe, crazy decks that nobody knows what's going on. And be like, wait, what? Why is he playing this? I'd like to point out as well that this opponent's slower playstyle, we are playing at ×2 speed. So just keep that in mind here. I choose to keep a full hand here because obviously we're getting Fortsies if our opponent is playing. Again, remember, this is ×2 speed. Right, we will drop a Tomb, pass back, we get the rest. We're going to take the Cornucopia, which is frustrating. So we're going to play the tap land here because we want them to think that we don't have a way to cast the Molten Collapse here. They play a Sharp-Eyed Rookie. So let's shock in, put Gigantha into hand. We're going to force them to commit stuff here. Now Edgar could have an issue with obviously there being green things here, because there's way more interaction around green than there is in other stuff. Liliana's uptick here is fantastic for us because now means we get to deploy our Edgar, and now we have answers to most of what they want. Now here's the weird thing. that I just want to point out here. Watch what land they play here. The complete disrespect they have for my boy. They play the Boseiju. They could have took him out here. Like, you'll notice that they forced us to sack Edgar, and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess they must have another Boseiju. They drop a Glissa, which is fair. They probably think the Glissa has a way out of this, but they didn't know we had another red in hand, so now we get to double Molten Collapse, take out their whole board. In fact, I think Glissa takes out an enchantment. She doesn't even take out an artifact, so that was just straight up disrespect for our boy Edgar, and it will cost them, as you will see here. Again, ×2 speed, and look how slow this person is playing. And there's only one theory of this. This was my rank up match, I believe. So either my opponent is, I have no clue, double queuing, or they're really trying hard to deny me the ability to rank up here. But I will say, Sharp-Eyed Rookie is very impressive, particularly in a deck like this. They use Avarice to draw free cards. We'll trade, keep our life total reasonable. Play another land here, play Gigantha, so we've got a solid blocker, force him to have some kind of removal for it. They go for a bit of Triumph. Fatal Push to get free damage in, but our stuff flips back. We get a Helix to kill him. Edgar gets to smack in, putting him down to 10. We'll hold the land for Thoughtseize Bait. They play Sentinel the Name City. We will cycle the Zycroid of Triumph. Excellent, so we will kill this with a Tyrant Scorn. And yeah, I guess our opponent's seeming a little something. Yeah, that's a point I want to raise while there's nothing to talk about, because we're just pwning this guy with Edgar, because Edgar's that good. What the hell is with the layout of the colors here? It is so hard to see their timer here. Oh no, they kill Edgar again. He flips back to a little coffin to give us some more time. Opponent drops Shieldred, will cycle in response. They draw off that, gain 2 life. We put Kellen onto the battlefield, pass back. We now have enough to block Shieldred, so they've got to have more answers. They play another Sentinel in the Name City here. They find a Pick Your Poison, which is actually an answer to Edgar's Coffin, which really has me scared. So we'll just block 1 here. But we find the Ancient Cornucopia, and this is what's so perfect about this. We attack in, we will not kill anything with Kellen. Put him down to 7. Pick Your Poison lets us choose what to sacrifice. So because we top deck that Cornucopia, they have no answer to Edgar. Normally we'd have some other tokens, maybe some treasures or things if we're playing this more efficiently. Oh no, we had to sack that token, so we had nothing. Now they're realizing they can't really attack in. But actually, here's the thing, if they attack in with both here, they die. So they're trying to get maps to block stuff, so we'll just take out Sentinel the Name City here to stop that production. So we ultimately gain a life here. They get to explore, find a lot, but we find the Tyrant Scorn. So because they've been slow playing, let's troll them with a little oops, good game. Punch him for Xaxes. And Edgar wins us another match. The amount of disrespect people have had for this card is crazy. And that was our up to Platinum. But it would not be true style if I didn't show you us completely getting destroyed here. So the following 2 matches we're up against a Selesnya aggro / Taxes deck. And it's basically us just getting destroyed because basically the whole deck, our whole deck just did not commit to give us any colors that we needed, and we played pretty poorly. Basically, we needed green to fix, and they just randomly had perfect answers to whatever we had at the time. They had a Skyclave on every threat, and yeah. So that's the end of the video. If you want to enjoy the last bit of this match, it's basically pretty boring because we get smacked before we get to do anything big here, and then next game we get mana screwed really, really hard. So hope you enjoy watching it, and we will be back. But as I said before, this video was 30-40 minutes of me gushing over Edgar. You should, if you have the colors to run him, or like a token strategy, really should consider this card. It's surprisingly good. I might even consider it in more commander style decks. We'll have to see how that goes. Anyway, everyone take care.